on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, back testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Are you ready to upgrade your combine? Don't wait. Act now to choose from the widest selection of used combines at Acres Equipment. Acres, Nebraska's leading John Deere combine dealer, is offering 2.9% interest for 60 months on over 100 pre-owned combines. Each combine includes our A-plus uptime program to keep you running flawlessly throughout harvest season. Go to acres.com to view a huge inventory of low-hour, late-model equipment. Find what you like, and we'll deliver it to your farm for free. Acres, solutions for every field.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank. At MidwestBank.com. Yes.
You working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering benefit 134 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Arnold's Tavern in Havelock is the place to be this summer, and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn from some of the best players in town. Shuffleboard Corner. Come on Sundays for Open House League all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and you are always welcome to bring in your own food. Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at price you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today. Located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
Eustace Body Shop, or the difference. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
If your home water doesn't taste right, look right, or smell right, just call Bryant for the solution to your water problem. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to Happy Hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Happy Monday. Happy at theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How was the weekend?
It was fantastic.
And how was the week?
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Although, a word I said this earlier on the drive. If you're ever going to make a trip down to Kansas City and have yourself some barbecue, don't smoke meat during the week.
Yeah.
Because you're going to make yourself feel bad.
Yeah, so you had a brisket and you had ribs.
I made ribs and then I made a brisket this last week on my smoker, and I thought I did a really good job. The ribs were delicious. The kids devoured them, destroyed them. Ellie, big fan of ribs. I made some brisket. It wasn't the best. It looked good, but it was a little dry.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say it looked a little dry.
It's a little dry.
Had a good ring around it though.
It did. Very, very large smoke ring. That's because I left it on too long. A little dry.
Okay.
KJ loved it. He devoured it.
Gotcha.
And then me and Rachel went to Kansas City for like a Saturday, Sunday type trip.
Yeah.
And we went to Q39, and I got their like barbecue platter thing with I got two extra meats. So I put some 2 ribs on there, some burnt ends, some brisket. What else was there? There was something else. I can't even think of what it was. There's mac and cheese and some stuff on there. And yeah, made me feel, I know that it's an award-winning barbecue spot, but it made me feel bad because, man, it was delicious.
I bet it was. Did you go? Were the Royals in town this weekend?
They were not. They were
Gotcha.
in town during the week, but
That's right.
over the weekend they
Against
were
the Reds and the Mets.
They were in Philadelphia. When
That's
we were
right.
down there.
That's right. And their 7-game winning streak came to an end. As always, 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys the entire show today. As well
I missed
as
you all so much.
As well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. We got a lot of things to hit on over the course of this hour's show. We got a little Husker women's basketball action as they wrap it up in Greece. We got some MLB standings updates to go through and to talk about run differentials and all that good stuff. We have a special teams battle to discuss regarding the Nebraska football team. So we'll talk about that.
Didn't see that one coming.
And just kind of whatever. Oh, and conference realignment, because I'm not sure Rico knows this, but I put a clip in the system.
Oh, I don't.
Because today is the day where Utah, Arizona, Oregon, all of the presidents and athletic directors are discussing the events that happened over the last couple of weeks, and that they're officially announcing their move to the Big 12 conference.
I'm sad.
Or Big 10, for that matter.
I am sad, not because of the conference realignment. I like the conference realignment to a certain degree. I'm sad because Utah's not in the Big 10. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you were a big proponent of Utah to the Big 10.
I think that their brand of football would fit perfectly in the Big 10.
However,
and I think that they're going to take over the Big 12, even though everybody's saying like, "Oh, lowly old Utah." I'm like, no, they're the defending Pac-12 champions two times in a row. Like they're gonna run. They are going to run the Big 12. That is my thought.
Caboose 8605 says Rico was gone. Does that make you feel bad, Rico?
No.
All right.
Like I said, I'm fine. I missed everybody. But if you didn't miss me,
they didn't miss you.
You didn't miss me. All right, whatever.
All right. So once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line. Okay, we got this perfectly here. And I should have included the audio so that people could hear the call on, I believe it was the Cleveland Guardians TV broadcast of the brawl between Tim Anderson and Jose Ramirez.
Ridiculous.
So previously in the game, Jose Ramirez, or I should say Tim Anderson rather, had gotten warned by umpires to say, hey, stop the chippiness, stop the talking, stop it, stop chirping at Jose Ramirez, right? And Jose Ramirez is somewhat of a beloved player throughout all of baseball. He's that traditional like franchise player, hasn't won a whole lot in Cleveland. If anything, right?
But he's a really good player on a bad team.
He's just continued to stay there. And so Drumstick, calm down. We'll switch over to the football talk after a second here. But it was funny because Tim Anderson fully squares up to Jose Ramirez, and within 2 punches, Jose Ramirez drops Tim Anderson.
So the clip that I saw was from like a White Sox fan account, and they're like, Tim Anderson out here throwing haymakers. And I was like, all right, cool. He's going to connect on a few of these. It was the first time I saw it. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, dude, you're not hitting anything. And then all of a sudden I see him get clocked right on the right side of his jaw. Well, left side of his jaw for him. But a right hook by Jose Ramirez, not even looking up. His head's still down, just kind of throws it up there, clocks him on the left side of his mouth, and his hands just stop, and he falls back.
Slow motion.
He was out for a second.
Yeah.
He realized he hit the ground and like kind of went to get up, but he was out for a second. Jose caught him clean, shut the lights off in Tim Anderson's brain for a quick second. And that's all she wrote. There's nothing else that you can even say about that. That's Jose Ramirez wins that fight. That's not even baseball talk. This is like UFC talk right now. It's like a little boxing corner.
I mean, he got dropped. He got dropped.
He got dropped almost as bad as Errol Spence did.
Yeah. Just quicker.
Yeah, much
Just
quicker.
And the best, like
they
I
got
said,
dropped like Nate Diaz got dropped.
The best part was that Tim Anderson somewhat initiated it by throwing his glove onto the dirt.
Oh, it wasn't somewhat.
And then completely squaring up with both of his arms up by his chin, like, all right, let's do this.
So Jose Ramirez said after the game that, he slid in there and Tim Anderson kind of tagged him and then tagged him a second time, kind of a little bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
And Jose got up and was like, hey, don't do that. We're not doing that right now. And then Tim took offense to it, whatever.
Yeah.
Threw the glove down, and Jose's like, all right, we're doing this.
Tim's not happy. Tim was not happy. Unnamed texter says Tim Anderson went for stamina with the kidney punch. Ramirez went Bud Crawford and ended it.
Said night.
Exactly. So just an update on baseball standings, though, because we have to do this. Rico, we were just talking about
not in last.
The Boone conversation on a Yankees podcast where Aaron Boone gets pretty fired up.
Yes, he does.
And I've started listening to it just because it's funny. And I only listen to that segment because it's funny when Aaron Boone gets all mad. I should say the Yankees 58-54 this year, 12 games back from the divisional lead, 4.5 from the wild card.
Yep. It's fine.
Let's just check in on the NL Central. Why don't we?
Honestly though, not that bad. There's a chance that they can get into the wild card, still make the playoffs.
That's true.
But they need to fire Aaron Boone tonight. Before that's the only way they can make the playoff, because I don't understand any of the. Also, whoever the third base coach is, get him out.
Yeah.
Who sends Giancarlo Stanton?
That was bad.
The dude wasn't running.
That was real bad.
He was slightly jogging, and he's watching the ball the whole time, and not a single part of him thought, maybe I'm not gonna make it home.
Stop watching the ball. All right. So anyway,
ridiculous.
Notorious B.I.B. How about that? I actually missed Rico. Glad to have you back.
Hey. Thanks, Notorious B.I.B.
Notorious B.I.B. NL Central update, just really quickly. The Cubs, a game and a half back in the NL Central behind the Brewers. They have surpassed the Reds. And if the season ended today, the Cubs would have a wild card spot. So it's a good thing they bought at the deadline.
Good for them.
And they
should have sold.
Here, I'll tell you this right now also. They have the fifth highest run differential this season.
They're the only team in the NL Central with a positive run differential
at plus 75.
Milwaukee leads
the NL
at
Central,
-8.
The NL Central's bad. I don't say that. I'm not saying that they're in a good division. The NL Central is bad. In no division should you be able to be 58-54 and be second in your division.
That's
just
funny because of how good the Cubs are, and they have the exact same record as the Yankees.
Exactly. So, all right, let's move on.
Whatever.
Let's go first. College football realignment, because Rico,
I missed it all.
You were gone last week. Didn't get to give your thoughts. First, I want to start with a clip that we have in the folder. As the Arizona president Dr. Robbins, Bob Robbins, for more context, he kind of laid out what happened last Friday, because you might remember that it seemed for a moment that the Pac-12 was going to stay together, that everybody was going to sign the Pac-12 media rights agreement, and there was no conference expansion or realignment going to happen like we initially thought. Well, he got asked today about the events that transpired on Friday, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, look, we were I think we were all expecting Friday morning. We were showing up together to sign blood our grant of rights over to the Pac-12 conference, and we were notified by I guess they must have split us up. I got called by one of the presidents and said, "Look, this is tough, but we came to an agreement with the Big Ten, 10 minutes ago, and I just want to give you heads up before we get together as presidents and chancellors that we'll be taking our talents to the Big Ten."
So it's the LeBron James aspect of I'm taking my talents to the Big Ten, and he meant by he got a call from an Oregon and or Washington president 10 minutes prior to the meeting where they were all going to come together and sign the Pac-12 media rights deal.
In blood.
Once again, what we have found out from Dr. Robbins, from Bob Robbins, the Arizona president right there, in his press conference this morning, he kind of spilled what the agreements or the terms of the Apple TV deal was going to be. and it was going to be for $23 million per year per school, and completely streaming, right? No cable connect, no cable capabilities, if you will. And they didn't like that. Nobody liked that. Oregon didn't care for that. Utah certainly didn't like that, as they talked about in their press conference earlier today. And Arizona didn't like it either. So that basically, although Oregon and Washington were technically the straws that broke the camel's back, nobody was really a big fan of the whole idea of not being able to have it on cable and only streaming their college football games.
It's ridiculous that Pac-12 has fallen apart. Not all based on their lack of a TV deal, their lack of a streaming deal, whatever you want to call it, but just to see this once historic conference be reduced to the 4 teams that it's reduced to, Stanford, Cal, Washington State, Oregon State, is very sad to see. Now, I fully expect them. Apparently, they're getting an offer from the American Athletic Conference to join them, which would be crazy because that's mostly East Coast teams. So that's a lot of flying for those teams. But my expectation is for the Pac-4 to join the Mountain West and form, a new Pac, whatever, however many teams that's going to be, just because that would kind of complete the Mountain West Western domination of each of those states in that general area. So it's kind of crazy and very sad to see the Pac-12 fall apart like this. But if you sit back and look, you say Oregon and Washington are the straws that broke the camel's back. You got to think Colorado made their decision to leave before both of them. And I understand that they're not a power broker in the Pac-12, but if you look at it and they're just, these teams are sitting back, and was it Utah, Arizona State also joining the Big 12. You sit back and you look, if Colorado can join a better conference that's, more well put together and more stable than the Pac-12, what's going to stop us from doing this? And you heard Oregon and Washington for the longest time after USC and UCLA joined the Big Ten, or were announced to join the Big Ten, and then that whole thing fell apart, and the Pac-12 looked to be on more stable ground. And then the whole TV deals with the SEC re-upping with the ESPN, and the Big Ten getting their massive deals for all of their schools, although there's something going on with Rutgers now. If you read the Athletic article and see what's going on with Rutgers, and maybe if these teams are leaving conferences, maybe at some point conferences might kick teams out of their conferences. We'll see what happens. I don't want to get into that right now, but the Pac-12 and their TV deal with Apple Plus, Apple TV, whatever it is, that is like a slap in the face to all of these teams that have done what they've done through the years to build their brands. You look at an Oregon State who was 11-2 this last season, 10-2 this last season, and they're still getting left out in the mud.
Well, so here, I mean, and that's been the big thought overall from a lot of presidents and chancellors, was that basically they wanted to join a conference that had more stability. Obviously, the monetary side of it, but according to not only the Arizona president, but also the Utah, administration, they believe that this gave them more stability and a better chance to compete nationally. And that's something that we had plenty of conversations last week, Rico, where it's when you get down to crunch time and then you're talking about playoff spots and things like that, the committee, whoever makes up the committee now, then, in the future, is going to look at it as, all right, what's this team's strength of schedule look like? And you're going to be able to have a much better case in your favor if you are in the Big Ten or the SEC or even now the Big 12 rather than the Mountain West or the American.
Well, I mean, you even look at it even without the strength of schedule. Like, obviously, strength of schedule is a massive part of it, but to me, what I believe is how much these people on the committee, because they can say that they watch all these games and they pay attention to college football. They don't. So you look at the teams that are on the East Coast and the Midwest, they're getting a lot more love than those Western Conference teams, those Pac-12, Mountain West. I don't think the WAC is a thing anymore, whatever. But those teams don't get as much love because the people on this committee aren't staying up until midnight to watch an Oregon State, even if they only have one loss. They're not staying up till 10 o'clock to watch a Utah, even though their one loss came at the very first game of the season, and they've been destroying teams the rest of the way. They're not going to stay up to watch these teams. So even with a strength of schedule that's decent, these teams aren't going to get as much love or weren't getting as much love in the Pac-12 because nobody's staying up to watch them. And you got to think, no matter how much they want to say that it's not about the viewership and it's not about the money, and it's about putting the best 2 teams out there, the best 4 teams out there, it's about money.
Mm-hmm.
People weren't going to, and look, TCU squeaked in. They got lucky that they squeaked in, but it's about who's going to watch these games and how much viewership they're going to draw.
Yeah.
They weren't going to throw a Utah versus a Georgia out there because they didn't think they were going to get a lot of viewers.
So in addition to everything, George Kliakoff, the Pac-12 commissioner, and well, now Pac-4 commissioner, he said this over a text message, whether or not he planned to resign. And this comes, I mean, multiple, he's texted this to multiple outlets. So he's just copy and pasted basically the text message. This one comes from On3. He says, quote, "I'm loyal to a fault." And then I don't know anybody that uses parentheses in text messages, but George Kliakoff does. And he says, "I'm loyal to a fault," and then in parentheses, "and probably to my personal detriment," end parentheses, "had plenty of chances to leave over the past 2 years when the breadth of challenges were already obvious, and decided to stick it out and try to do the best I could. We still have a lot of work ahead of us to try and minimize the impact on the student athletes, and I'm still committed to that." Once again, that's George Kliakoff, the Pac-12 commissioner, on whether or not he's planning to resign or not. Now, what's interesting, I mean, you talk about viewership, I suppose. Another thing to consider in all of this is you look at the media rights deal and how much they affect. You notice when you're watching a college game day or a Fox Big Noon Golf, it's heavily focused on the schools and universities that of the games that they are broadcasting, right? You don't hear a lot about the Big Ten outside of Ohio State and maybe Michigan on ESPN a whole lot because there's not a lot of Big Ten games going on ESPN. You hear a lot about SEC, right? Because that's their baby, that's their bread and butter. And you hear a lot about the ACC with Clemson and Florida State as well. You don't hear a lot about the Big Ten. And then on vice versa, on Fox, you hear a lot of Big Ten because a lot of times there's Fox Big Noon Kickoff featuring multiple Big Ten teams.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you hear about the Big 12, especially when it comes to Oklahoma and Texas prior to this last year or prior to next year.
They're not talking about a Tennessee LSU matchup like ESPN is.
They might show it. They might talk about it. They might pick it at, in the last 15 minutes of the game, but they're not going to go in depth on it. You're not going to hear. So to Rico's point regarding an Oregon State team, hypothetically, they say, let's say they have one loss, somewhat close as we approach November. You might not know about it. Why? Because if you don't have an Apple TV subscription, you have to be listening to one of the major networks in a very small time frame and a very specific moment to even know about Oregon State in depth. And so if you're just a casual football fan, which a lot of the general population is, you're not going to know a whole lot about the Pac-12 or in this case now the Pac-4.
I mean, Oregon State with one loss is barely in the top 25, unfortunately, even though they're as it stands right now.
Hey, come on now,
Power
don't
5 team.
Don't disrespect my man Jonathan Smith.
I'm not going to disrespect generic name coach at Oregon State.
John Smith.
I'm not going to disrespect him, but I am just saying a one-loss Oregon State team is barely in the top 25 because, again, nobody's paying attention to the Pac-12 as even if they're a Power 5 currently conference.
Don't forget, DJ Uiagalelei is out there.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's in Corvallis now.
We'll see how it goes.
And how about that move? The guy moves from Clemson, where he's fighting for the starting job. Probably was going to lose it this next year.
Was definitely going to lose.
Was probably going to lose it this next year to I believe Cade Klubnik is the next quarterback in line for the Clemson Tigers.
Sure, that sounds right.
And then now he moves to Oregon State, where he's going to play in the Pac-12.
It's a different shade of orange.
What a wild couple of times.
Hey, he's only there for 1 year, so he's good. He's there for the final year of the Pac-12, and then he's gone.
Yeah. So,
although all of these moves are just for football, and we can get into that in the next segment, all of these moves are just football, and you've seen multiple student athletes in other sports talking about how these moves are going to affect them and their travel, and how none of the student athletes outside of football and men's basketball were thought of when these moves were thought of, because I understand. And again, people will probably say whatever, football and basketball are the money-making sports. Yeah, whatever. You still have to consider what's going to happen with these student athletes, how much the travel is going to affect them. Because if you've got an Oregon team traveling to Penn State for, I don't know, baseball or whatever, and they've got, 2 games over the weekend, and they've got to play at Penn State and then Ohio State. And then whenever they get back, they're going to have to go to classes the next day, but they're not getting back until 6 a.m. You got like 3 hours of sleep. You got to go back to class. Like, it's not,
I will say
it's not great.
It's not okay. So it's not good. Understanding travel conditions and the way that maybe some student athletes have traveled in years past. You hope that with additional TV money and additional donations, when even more eyes are on your product. Also, if you're winning, that certainly helps. You would hope that maybe some more of those funds get sprinkled down to the non-revenue sports.
You would hope so.
You would hope so. So
how many private jets can one university actually have?
Well, okay. So, and I think another thing, though, when you talk about scheduling, it depends how divisions play out. It depends if, because you have to, obviously they're not going to get rid of the Big Ten like basketball tournament, but okay. So football, for example, if you have 16, if the league eventually goes to 20 or 24 teams, you break that off into those pods where it helps a little bit more geographically. I would also say for a sport like baseball or a sport like softball, where it's a cold weather sport for the first couple of months of the season, there are ways to provide a product, a quality product that maybe get a little more eyeballs onto your sports, right? Big Ten has struggled in baseball for a very long time. They don't make the commitment to it. Well, now you bring in a guy in Tony Petitti as the Big Ten commissioner, who formerly worked for MLB Network and has been involved in the MLB front office. And you hope, all right, maybe you start to give a little more of a focus on a sport like baseball or some of those lesser sports, because same can be said for other ones. But now in March, Nebraska could travel out to Eugene, or Nebraska could travel out to UCLA or USC, and they could play a 4-game series that, once again, is not only just in conference, but it's also in warmer climates, right? Where maybe you have a little more eyeballs on it because it's a conference match. You're still going to have the trips where Nebraska travels down to Texas and plays in the Ranger Stadium. You're still going to have where they go down to Frisco. You're still going to have those preseason tournaments.
Where they go up to Minneapolis.
But this also provides an opportunity to maybe have some earlier non-conference games and maybe rope some casual fans into the product a little sooner than wait until April or even early May. So, all right, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys to contribute to the show. You guys have been pretty good so far. You can also join us on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, also known as X, if you're going off of the new stuff, and then Allo Channel 951 as well. We'll be right back. We got more to talk about. The Husker women's basketball team, we're going to start with this right out of the break. They're wrapping up their trips in Greece right now, and they demolished Crete. Not Crete High School, but Crete. So we'll just run through some of the numbers for the Husker women's basketball team in their game against Crete in Greece. Might have been better off playing against Crete High School, for that matter. We'll tell you all about it coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Saint and at Radio AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Koppel's big summer sales event is kicking off into high gear with lots of fantastic offers still going on. We got 0.9% interest rates and trade-in bonuses on select new models. I know it all sounds too good to be true, but yes, 0.9% interest rates right now at Koppel. Also ramping up our back-to-school vehicles, and our pre-owned inventory is filling fast. We've got great new pre-owned and GM-certified units ready to roll, so stop on by the dealership or online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career.
And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
H&H Roofing, established in 2015, is proud to serve the local area, which includes the tri-state area in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. H&H Roofing has a professional team that are licensed and bonded, GAF Master Certified installers, and an insurance preferred contractor that will work directly with your insurance company. Also a leading roofer, siding, and gutter specialist. H&H Roofing will service all residential, commercial, and agricultural needs. Go to HNHroofs.com for more information or call 402-359-2546.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com. Keyword come work at
Eustace Body Shop, or a compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from finish for free. Buy for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
If your home water doesn't taste right, look right, or smell right, call Bryant for the solution to your water. Call 6711 Bryant Air Heating Electrical Plumbing.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you get a great workout. You get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean spacious locations, your friend anytime and both workout with tons of equipment, that big fitness energy, relax in the Black Card spa, and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Join the judgment-free zone today. Deal ends Thursday, August 10th. See Home Club for details.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through options, the team of Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success stories over the years each Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I don't believe you people.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people? Huh?
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the happy hour. Nick and Rico joining you after Rico is back from vacation.
I'm back.
402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln Hotline, the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys.
Hey, Nick, why didn't you come over for supper on Thursday?
You didn't want me to, and I could feel it.
We said you could. You just had to bring something. You just had to bring
I would have
either
happily brought
your
something.
guacamole or some alcohol.
I would have happily brought something.
That's what Rachel said.
But I could feel
you caused
the
a big
fact,
stink on Twitter, and then you didn't even show up
because I could feel the fact that you guys didn't want me there on Thursday.
Whatever. Dude.
Either way,
whatever.
You should have texted me and said, "Hey, Nick, I'm being serious." If
we're like, dude, where is he?
You're just waiting for me.
We thought you were going to show up.
We could have eaten 30 minutes sooner.
Yeah,
we were waiting.
We waited
for you.
a half hour for you. You never showed up, so we just ate it.
Anyway, okay, so I do want to get to a Husker football conversation because there is a a special teams battle rather going on in the fall at the place kicker position. But this is definitely important to note, and it's just kind of on a lighthearted note. Nebraska women's basketball beat the Crete All-Stars today.
Crete Women All-Stars.
124-18.
Yep.
That's a 106-point victory for the Huskers to finish their exhibition play in Greece.
Do we want some stats?
Let's go through some. So if there's a couple names that Husker fans might not know.
Well, I'll go team stats, and then you can go individual stats.
Okay.
So Nebraska shot from 2-point range, 58.8%. From 3-point range, 32.7%.
Which isn't like jumping off the page.
It's not. They hit 68% of their free throws. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's bad. That's not good at all.
26 defensive rebounds to 10 for Crete. Wait a minute. This says 28.7 offensive rebounds to 1 for Crete. 54.7 total rebounds. 24 assists to 5 for Crete. 24 steals to 1 for Crete. 2 blocks. Only 9.7 turnovers, while Crete turned it over 38 times, and they had 34 fast break points.
Jeez.
To Crete's 0.
Once again, Nebraska beats the Crete All-Stars 124-18 over in Greece as they get ready to come on back. Now, couple interesting things just to note as we go through individual stats really quickly here. Obviously, Jazz Shelley, she drops 20 points, as well as Natalie Potts drops 20 points. Logan Nisley scores 15 for the Huskers. And you might be saying, well, who are Logan Nisley and who is Natalie Potts? Nisley is the recruit from the number 90 or 91st best player in the country, according to recruiting sites. And she's from Bismarck, North Dakota. And then Natalie Potts was the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Missouri. And she obviously is a true freshman as well for the Huskers. Alexis Markowski, the Pius grad, drops 17. Let's see. Who else am I missing?
Darian White, the transfer from... I can't remember where she transferred from. And now I feel bad.
Yeah. You said her name and you didn't even know.
I thought I knew it. And as soon as I thought, I go, that's not right. I was going to say Colorado State, but I don't think that's right.
Montana State.
Dang it. I knew
that's
it was
right. That's the Bozeman connection.
Dang it. Darian White, the point guard transfer from Montana State, finished with 18 points.
Yeah. You have Kendall Moriarty, who's
5
obviously
steals.
somewhat of a staple, has 8. Callan Hake, the sophomore, has 3. Annika Stewart drops 13. Maddie Kroll, the former South Dakota player, drops 2. So once again,
Allison
just
Widener did not play in this last one.
not that these necessarily matter or do a whole lot, but Nebraska somewhat comically defeats Crete 124-18 over in Greece to finish out their international trip. As I mentioned before the break, might have been better off playing against Crete High School, but here they are.
35 steals.
124-18. They didn't even score. How demoralizing is it when you look up at the scoreboard and not even see 124-18, but you look up at halftime and it's like, dang, we're down 73-10.
Well, your leading scorer was Stalina. It just has one name. She played 34 minutes. She had 12 points. 12 of your 18 points came from one person. She shot 12 threes. She was 3 of 12. She only took 1 2-point field goal and made it.
Wow. So once again, 124-18, Huskers with a dominating victory over in Greece. Let's transition now to Husker football. As fall camp week 2 has officially kicked off.
What does that game tell us about Nebraska women's basketball? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. We heard from Matt Rule on Saturday. We heard from a couple coaches earlier today, and we'll get another look at the Huskers practice tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. or so, and then we'll hear from Matt Rule, I believe, a little shortly after. But one thing that we did learn from today is that there is a kicking competition, right? And this isn't necessarily surprising, but when you think about one of Nebraska's positions of need, place kicker, as weird as it sounds, might not be very high on your list, right? Special teams play hasn't necessarily been great over the last 7 or 8 years, but after Nebraska went through that weird funk of kickers where it was like Connor Culp got the yips, and then it was like Lane McCollum and Barrett Pickering before him, and you just had this weird stretch of nobody really in the room. And now Nebraska has 2 where you have a guy in Timmy Bleekrode who had the job last year.
You felt pretty solid about Timmy Bleekrode coming back as your starting kicker, and you kind of, I just penciled him in as the starter, but apparently, good thing I put it in pencil.
Well, so Timmy Bleekrode last year for the Huskers, 9 of 12 on field goals, and was 34 of 35 on extra points. His lone miss extra point wise was one that got blocked. Now, another thing is he's competing right now, and it's an open competition, as special teams coach Ed Foley said today. It's an open competition with true freshman and Omaha West Side alum Tristan Alvano. Obviously, a lot of Husker fans know Tristan Alvano from the game-winning, I believe, 45-yarder against Gretna in the state championship game during or last fall. But when you read Tristan Alvano's stats on paper, you want to talk about ones that jump off. Here we go. Here's just the write-up on Huskers.com regarding Tristan Alvano. Alvano set state all-class records for most field goals in a game and in a season. His 27 career field goals were the most in Class A history. He was also honored as a first-team high school All-American as a senior. Alvano scored 118 points for the Warriors in his senior season, the most points by a kicker in state history. As a junior, he was 11 of 14 on field goals, including a pair of 49-yarders in the state semifinals. Now, here's one that, once again, Alvano was 100 of 19 of 120 in his career on extra points. He scored 200 points in the 2 seasons as the Warriors kicker. He handled kickoff duties for Westside, booting 141 touchbacks in 225 attempts. Alvano was named to the Omaha World Herald All-Nebraska first as both a junior and senior. He also earned a spot on the Lincoln Journal-Star Super State first team both seasons. And just as a recruiting piece of it, Alvano rated as a 5-star prospect by Cole's Kicking, which ranks him as the number 6 kicker in the country. He also had scholarship offers from Air Force, Army, Boston College, and North Dakota State.
So what you're telling me, he's a pretty good kicker.
Pretty good kicker.
Pretty solid.
Pretty reliable. And as when I went to practice last week in the first day, he was kicking 50-yarders. And actually, there was one of the news outlets. I can't remember, out of Omaha. I'm blanking on the name. They have a video of it up on Twitter of him kicking a 50-yard field goal, and it would have been good from probably 60.
There's some space.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the 45-yarder in the state championship game, he kicked not only a 45-yarder to win it, but he kicked a 50-yarder previously in that game. He kicked 5 field goals. He was 5 for 5 on field goals in the state title game last fall. A
stadium that is known for, the wind being a little weird.
Well, it's just bigger. It's just bigger than a normal high school stadium. The wind's going to swirl a little bit in a college stadium more than a high school stadium, just because it's more of a bowl, right? And so, this is one thing that we found out is that Timmy Bleekrode and Tristan Alvano are battling things out. Timmy Bleekrode might not have the leg that Tristan Alvano has, but he has the more experience, I suppose, at the college level than Tristan Alvano. So that's just a little update. Brad from Baldwin asks, is Josh Fleeks back yet? He is.
Yes.
Josh Fleeks, after being, quote, significantly over his weight and being sent home, according to Matt Rule, has made his way back to Lincoln and is currently with the team.
He was in their last highlight video, Catch It's the Fastest.
Yep. So Josh Fleeks is back. Let's go ahead and take a break. Rico, are you getting out of here?
Yes, I believe I am. I got to run back to my house to get some ticket gear because the preseason volleyball media availability is happening. So I got to go get some pictures.
There you go.
Maybe ask some questions.
So I'll be joined by Rico and Austin, or it's not Rico,
Nope,
Austin and Strick for the crossover as we round out Monday's show coming up next on The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Day by Day, the new documentary about Tom Osborne and the decades-long pursuit of a national championship. Featuring interviews with former players and coaches, as well as famous fans like Peyton and Archie Manning, Larry the Cable Guy, and numerous NCAA and NFL legends. Day by Day is the riveting, untold story of one of the most dominant, celebrated, and controversial football teams ever. Opening in theaters on August 11th, visit daybydaymovie.com for details.
Or smell right. Just call Bryant for the solution to your water problem. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33 per hour with opportunities. Also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're a trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery Healing Beacons. Call 402-489-4700.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
H&H Roofing, established in 2015, is proud to serve the local area, which includes the tri-state area in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. H&H Roofing has a professional team that are licensed on GAF Master Certified installers that work directly with your insurance company. Also a leading roofer, siding, and gutter specialist. H&H Roofing will service all residential, commercial, and agricultural needs. Go to H&H Roofs.com for 402-359-2546.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 News Boulevard.
John Henry's Plumbing.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, Lincoln. Find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty product experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive section of at prices you're sure of. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture, Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Arnold's Tavern and Block is the place to be this summer, and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn from some of the best players in town for the shuffleboard corner. Come on Sundays for open house league all day starting at 11. Enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy every day from 3 to 6 p.m. And you are always welcome to bring in Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for fireworks Fridays, souvenir Saturdays, Sunday family fun days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other bets at construction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah. I recommend Sauter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I vomited last night.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I literally vomited. I threw up.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the Happy Hour one final time on a Monday. We bring in Austin Orman and Eric Strickland from On the Block. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nick.
How was the weekend?
Mine was wonderful.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Good.
ask for
Spent it
anything
in
better.
Dallas?
I did.
Nice.
But I will say it was a beautiful thing to get off that plane and feel that 79, 80 degree weather as opposed to that 105 degree weather.
Of course. Okay, guys. So I want to start off with this. as we already got the legal ID in there, so we don't have to worry about it stopping at 2 p.m. on the dot. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline on the Starter Heyman. A lot of talk about conference realignment, obviously. I want to bring up something that you guys might not be aware about or have forgotten about. Oregon State is currently undergoing a $161.5 million facility upgrade their stadium.
Oh boy.
And now,
thank you, Mike Riley.
They got left behind. Maybe they'll join the American. Maybe they'll merge with the Pac-12, or the Mountain West. But either way, a athletic department that in 2021 reported a $17 million deficit. And only about $34 million per year. And they had a $50 million lead gift that kickstarted this project back in 2022. It was still during the 2022 season, projected to finish, I believe, in the late fall stages of now in 2023. Now what? After 160, they're going to have a brand new facility, and their stadium is going to be upgraded, and they are not going to be
without
a power
home
conference.
So
without a home, for right now.
So there's something that I look around the world and look at different things as far as life and health and politics and living of other people. There were periods to where China, there were periods to where the Arabic companies of like Saudi Arabia and UAE, they built these cities that they call ghost cities. And you have to ask the question, is Oregon State in that realm where it's like literally you're putting together a project that isn't going to have the back end funding when you're already operating at a close net in the black, as opposed to in the red, but you've been in the red. And so with this happening, and this is the question I ask you, is the Pac-12 the Undertaker, or is he rising like the Undertaker? Is it Tombstone, or is it the Undertaker? Is he rising out of it, or is he stuck in the grave? Which one is it?
I'm not sure how you rise out of this.
Yeah.
I'm really not.
So that's where the problem
exists. We don't
exists.
want it to.
Yeah.
It's I'm not sure how you do it, how you go about it. What's next, right? Other than
that's the scary part.
Now, instead of, we talked about it last week in depth, instead of like a San Diego State going from the Mountain West to the Pac-12, thinking, we're trying to get an upgrade here. Who knows what's going to happen here in the next couple of days? But the might go on to the Mountain West just to stay alive, to keep those teams afloat.
Yeah.
And just how the tables have turned over the last couple of weeks.
Chernobyl.
Yes.
They could have been Chernobyl. Yeah.
Instead of Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's interesting. So I'm reading a press release regarding this Oregon thing back in September of 2022. And they talked to donors that donated anonymously. And so they kept them anonymous in this press release. But it says, all of us donors support the long-term growth of Oregon State athletics. It mentions in here, the last 2 years of fundraising success hinges not only on the size of the gifts, but on the collective impact and thoughtfulness of our donors, said the vice president of the athletic department. These two back-to-back record-breaking years in athletic fundraising build momentum towards a strategic plan for thriving and nationally competitive Oregon State University. I am especially appreciative of the $6.4 million in our endowment commitment in the last year that will safeguard the long-term financial sustainability of Oregon State athletics by generating lasting funding for scholarships and our programs.
So, Austin, can I throw that to you?
Toss it.
Being option to the right, to the left, option. Tommy Frazier style. Here's the deal. Being that that's the case on what Nick just stated, should Oregon States, should Arizona States, should those kind of, on the fringe, even some of the Cal, and they have been a little bit more proactive at trying to find the next phase, the next step, the next location, so that if everything went south, do you think they were totally just banking on Pac-12 deliverance the whole time? Or do you think, what's your thought on that? Because that's something I have an interest in.
Yeah, well, really everything went east, not south, to the Big Ten. But as much as they could have been proactive, the steps they could have taken weren't good ones. Yeah. In being proactive, it's either do you look at another conference like your Mountain West, like your WAC, like your American? That's less money. You're getting a handful of $1 million per year, which right now in the Pac-12, you're getting nothing. You don't have a TV deal. So a few millions more than nothing. But in terms of proactive for staying in the Pac-12 and keeping that together, those schools' voices just don't carry that much weight. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. So I'm sure these schools did see the writing on the wall to some degree. And it sounds like the Pac-12, a lot of leaders thought they were on the same page. They thought they were going to sign a TV deal Friday. Oregon backed out, and then everything cascaded from there. So with USC and UCLA already gone, even before they left, had those schools known, had Oregon State, had Washington State known about it, what can they do? Not anything. Maybe Cal and Stanford have a little more power. Cal especially, given that it's part of the Cal system, the Board of Regents there. Maybe they have some sway. Stanford should carry weight, but it's a football conversation. They don't carry weight in football. Mm-hmm. So the ball is already rolling, so it's either get out of the way or get run over.
Well, and guys, I mean, what if you're one of these donors? So in this, it says the $161.5 million renovation of the stadium was made possible by 20 generous donors. Get this. It includes 12 donors who made their first ever commitment of $1 million or more. Mm. And
you stepped out on faith on your first meal ticket.
Who's in a worse spot? Oregon State donors to this new project or Northwestern donors to their new stadium?
I think Northwestern
because now they're going, hey, we have legal fees. Yeah, we got you can complete this and you will complete this.
It's a total overhaul.
But it's also you complete this to bring more people to the stadium, right? To draw more eyes to your product, and unfortunately, because of the people around you and the institutions around you, this isn't going to do a whole lot for you. Yeah. Okay, fine. Pack the stadium for a San Diego State, Oregon State game. But if one of those teams has more than 3 losses, not a whole lot of people are watching it.
And we'll see, that's the thing. Even if pack the stadiums, that's not where the money is, right? There's enough money there. It's why you see to play all these home games, but the money's in the TV deal. So, I'm sure the gate won't be quite as big, but that'll be a couple drops in the bucket compared to missing out on double-digit mil.
Yeah. What's coming up on the block today, gentlemen?
We got some good stuff. We'll look at the NFL in tiers. A Pro Football Focus writer took a look at Sumer Sports. Took a look at NFL teams in the conferences and their tiers. We're going to go through that. We'll talk about the Boogie Bird ad for Nebraska basketball. Very late ad from Ball State, former Husker tie there with Michael Lewis. Yeah. And then we'll get into more winners and losers. Strick and I were discussing a little bit of realignment. What's happening? What's going now? What does this mean for different schools? That'll be hour 2.
Awesome. There you go. Make sure you stick around. On the Block with Strick and Austin is coming up just in a few minutes. If you missed any of the happy hour today, make sure you go over to theticketfm.com as it'll be podcasted here momentarily. Had a lot of good stuff. Special teams competition. Tristan Alvano and Timmy Bleakroad. Husker women's basketball put the licket on the Greece All-Stars 124-18 in their final exhibition. That and a little bit of conference alignment back in the first segment. So plenty of stuff to catch up on if you missed any of it. We're out. Talk to you guys tomorrow on The Block. Coming up next.
Day by Day is the new documentary about Tom Osborne and the Nebraska Cornhuskers' decades-long pursuit, featuring players and coaches, as well as famous fans like Peyton and Archie Manning, Larry the Cable Guy, and numerous NCAA and NFL legends. Day by Day is the riveting, untold story of one of the most dominant, celebrated, and controversial football teams ever. Open on August 11th. Visit daybydaymovie.com.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today. Located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's or office, if I repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple, their amazing customer service simply schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. Visit Lincoln.com.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares up the people involved in stories over each Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and the
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirit is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer,